Rayappan belongs to the Society of the Divine Word, and he is presently the Rector of Divine Word Seminary just across. We went to the ground of Divine Word Seminary now. After his ordination in 1988, Father began his studies in 1992 with a licentiate in church history, and he has done his doctoral thesis with the title The Original Fire and New Flames, History of the Catholic Church in Odisha, 1852-1922 at Gregorian University, Rome. And Father has been a teacher in different theologians, like Krista Jyoti. He was the principal and dean in Krista Jyoti Mahavidyalaya, Sasan Sambalpur, and then Chris Premalaya, regional theologian in Asta. And then presently he is the head of the Department of Historical Theology in Janadeva Pontifical Athenaeum. He is also a professor emeritus from Janadeva. And we welcome Father Rayappan to welcome and introduce Advocate ISHVANI.
Thank you, Father Matthew. Good afternoon, dear brothers and sisters. It's my privilege and honor to introduce and welcome Advocate Irfan Engineer. He is the Director, Center for Study of Society and Secularism, which works to promote communal harmony, interfaith dialogue, and peaceful coexistence by organizing workshops, seminars, and research publications. And he is also the managing editor of Indian Journal of Secularism. He is the recipient of the Peace Ambassador Award by Universal Peace Foundation. He is the author of several books like Issues of Communal Violence, Causes and Responses, Surat Riots, Peace Eludes Manipur, State Apathy Towards the Ongoing Conflict, a fact-finding report, The Status of Freedom of Religion or Belief in India since 2014, a report. Weaponization of Hindu festivals, communal violence during Ram Navami processions in 2022 to 2023. He has written and published a number of articles on communal conflicts in India. He is also a co-editor of the book Babri Masjid, 25 years on. Welcome, sir. We have about 25 minutes to present your views on Islam and peace, the topic given to you, after which we'll get some time for question, answer, some kind of interactions. Over to you, sir. We are also happy to welcome on your behalf,
Thank you for that generous introduction. I'm very happy to be in ISHVANI KENDRA once again. My first book that was mentioned was written actually initially as a paper which was presented in ISHVANI KENDRA when Father Joy Thomas was the director here at that time. And congratulations to ISHVANI KENDRA on the occasion of completing 50 years of service. Fantastic work, very good work, and great. But although my topic is on Islam and peace, I also intend to talk towards the end a little bit about what we are doing in Mumbai, an experiment that we are doing in Mumbai, which is about Inter-Religious Solidarity Council. Professor Surinder Kaur is here from Inter-Religious Council, Father Michael, who spoke in the morning, and is here. We all together. I would like to talk a little bit about that. So, next. Now, peace has three stages. One is pure absence of violence or absence of conflict. Nothing else, it's peace of graveyard. There's peace in Greenland now. There's no violence, but it is not real peace that we know. Which means that this peace is established after issues are resolved, conflict is resolved, there is an agreement, some sort of an agreement, and violence or active violence ceases. In this sense, there is peace between India and Pakistan, or between India and China. But we know there are lots of issues and the borders are hot and they can flare up at any time. The second is peace based on acceptance of diversity and pluralism, where we tread on the basis of equality, dignity and fraternity of all. Freedom of religion is one of the conditions which is well respected by a overwhelming majority, if not all. That peace is more rooted in. The third is peace based on justice, where there is equal citizenship, where human rights are respected, where all basic needs of people are met. And that's the foundation of the third stage of peace. Finally, peace, I would say, is not a destination, but peace is a journey where we transform violent structures in the society, like caste, like patriarchy, like class, or all other violent structures that produce inequality, that discriminate, that produce attitudes that are negative towards any section of the society. So we keep transforming these violent structures in the society, and peace is always a journey. I don't think that we have perfect peace where that would bring heaven on earth, if at all we all can bring. But still there might be some violence here and there, violent structures, and we keep transforming violent structures, and that's a journey. And it is towards this journey that we all religions together have to tread and address these violent structures. For example, it involves removal of dukkha, and Buddhism is a suggestion for that, a righteous path, what we should do, how we should do, removing sufferings of all people that is there in the society in which people find themselves wherever there is suffering, but also guiding people towards righteous path. Dukkha, through education, for example. Education is one tool where we guide our future generations towards this righteous path. I'm talking about secular education as well as religious education which accepts diversity. The second recommendation, again, that comes from Buddhist tradition is avoidance of extremism. Avoid extremism. And I think this is there also in Islam, also in Christianity, also in all other religions. Islam, for example, talks about the middle path, the balance, avoidance of extremism. And the term used is Ummatam Vasatiya, a well-balanced nation where everybody's, all extremisms are avoided. The other way to build peace is journey together in search of truth. Hinduism, for example, I'm just giving some quotes here and there. I mean, since time is limited, we cannot talk about all religions and all. But for example, the tradition in Islam, search of truth, is actually forgotten in practice. The way, and nobody searches for truth. We have the final truth, the quick. There's Sharia. This is the final word, and we have to implement it all. But truth and search of truth is essence of Islam religion as well. Prophet Muhammad said, in search of education or in search of truth, if you have to travel to the farthest land at that time, China, then you travel to China. You have to go that far. Hinduism says, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. There's one truth. All religions have described that truth differently. So, and there are Sufi traditions, we can talk, the translations of Upanishads by Sufis and the way they integrated this one truth, or rather the journey of search of truth. With this, I'll come on foundational principles of Islam. Ibn Arabi, a Sufi saint, he saw Islam as Wahdatul Wajud, unity of existence, unity of being, and that has unity of being has unity of existence has three hypotheses: God, humans, and nature. We are all one, integrated. We are not separate. God, humans, and which humans includes all human beings, not just one community or including nature. We have to take along with us all creation, God, animals, plants, trees, rivers, mountains. There is a verse in Quran which says, God gave us mountains to keep trust, mountains refuse. God asked trees to keep trust, trees refuse. God asked humans to keep trust, and humans have given that covenant to God of trust, which means we will maintain this earth as we have inherited. God in Quran is described not as Rabbul Muslimin, that is God of Muslims, but Rabbul Alamin. In the opening verse, when we pray namaz, we always pray and refer to God as Rabbul Alamin, God of entire universe, of the entire world. So it's not personalized God, or it's not God of the community, unlike some other. Quran, if I read verse 49, chapter 49, verse 13, and Bishop quoted actually this verse just in his address. O mankind, we created you from a single pair of male and female, and made you into nations and tribes, that ye may know each other, not that ye may despise each other. So, this diversity of culture, nation, tribes, ethnicities, races, these are just metaphorical words. It refers to all diversities that we witness. That this diversity is God created. And therefore we have to accept this diversity rather than despise it. And why was this diversity created? So that we know each other. There is a beautiful Urdu poetry. चमन में इख्तलाते रंगो बू से बात है, तुम ही तुम हो तो क्या तुम हो, हम ही हम है तो क्या हम है. Because of diversity in the garden, because of diversity of fragrance and colors, the flowers and all, उससे बात बनती है ना? That makes it a garden. If only you are there, what are you? And if only I am there in the whole universe, or people like me are there in the whole universe, what am I? I mean, so God created this universe so that diversity, so that we know each other, and that's the purpose of creation of diversity. Learn from this diversity, because we may not have learned all the truth. We may not have learned all the truth. Now, for peace, there could be many parts, but I am focusing on two parts which are essential of peace in society. One is freedom of religion, and the other is diversity, acceptance of diversity. These are two pillars on which we can build peace. Of course, as I said, we also have to build a just society, transform violent structures, etc. But these are the two basic things which religion had to address. Having made humans into nations and tribes, God guided humans on righteous path by sending numerous messengers. And He has sent many in Islam, many Muslims believe that God has sent 1,24,000 messengers to guide all people. Although Quran doesn't give number, but Quran says that we have not left any people unguided, so that you know the righteous path, so that on the day of judgment, you will not be judged without having shown you the path. So, who are the prophets who guided human beings? All the previous prophets that came before Prophet Muhammad are prophets, are accepted as prophets of Allah, and Muslims have to accept them as harbingers of truth, messengers and bringers of good tidings and warners. O people of the scripture, there has come to you our messenger to make clear to you the religion. After a period of suspension of messengers, lest you say, there came not to us any bringer of good tidings or a warner, but there has come to you a bringer of good tidings and a warner. So all peoples are guided. Alright, I mean, it's not that only Muslims are guided, all peoples are guided, and some Sufi, Hazrat Mazhar Jane Jana, a Sufi saint, argued, and many Sufi saints in India argued, that God has said, God didn't leave any people unguided, and God has sent prophets everywhere, messengers and righteous guidance everywhere, all corners of the world and all peoples. In India, God could not have let such a big country like India unguided. And in India, we hear many great names who recited the truth of God and guided the people here. We hear Ram and Krishna, as they are revered very much in this land, and maybe they are God's prophet, and they say peace upon Ram and Krishna, just as we say peace upon Prophet Muhammad. Whenever we pronounce name of Prophet Muhammad, we immediately say peace be upon him. So after taking Ram and Krishna's name, they would always recite peace be upon them. So that's how this integration of diversity and peace building process went on in India. So Moses, Abraham, Jesus are all prophets of Allah, and they also reiterated the truth from Allah. For a Muslim, it is mandatory, and Maulana Abul Kalam Azad in his commentary wrote that for a non-Muslim it might be a matter of choice whether to accept all religions as true. But for a Muslim it is not a matter of choice, it is a matter of faith. That unless you believe all religions are true, you cannot be a Muslim, because God sent prophet and all are guided by prophet. They are adhering to their own messages that God sent to them, and they are adhering to guidance given by God, and this diversity is created by God. So therefore, a Muslim is not a Muslim until he or she believes that all religions are true, according to Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. He wrote in his commentary. Chapter 2, verse 148, very clearly says, reiterating this message, for each is a direction towards which it faces, the community. So, race all that is good. Wherever you may be, Allah will bring you forth for judgment all together. Indeed, Allah is over all things competent. So these are various verses that I am quoting, which indicate that diversity is God created, and we have to accept all the diversity. So there has to be competition, not in hating each other, not in disliking each other, not in questioning this diversity, but in doing good work. The competition has to be amongst all faiths, amongst all cultures, identities, race, ethnicity. The competition has to be who can do better, who can tread God's path better, who can follow the moral ethics of the religion better, universal ethics. Now coming to freedom of religion. Quran very clearly says, La ifraqe deen. There is no compulsion in religion. There shall be no compulsion in acceptance of religion. The right course has become clear from the wrong. It doesn't say this religion or that religion. Right course and wrong course. Right course has become clear from wrong. So whoever disbelieves the taghut, that is false gods, and believes in Allah, has grasped the most trustworthy handhold with no break in it. And Allah is hearing and knowing. In chapter 109, verse 1 to 6, God clearly says to you, your religion, to me, mine. All Muslims are not supposed to fight with anybody else about religion. Say, O disbelievers, I do not worship what you worship, nor are you worshipper of what I worship. Nor will I be a worshipper of what you worship, nor will you be a worshipper of what I worship. For you is your religion, and for me is mine. So, very clear Quranic verses. We are not supposed to use insulting words for other religions or other faiths or other gods, whatever name of other gods others might be taking. And insult not those whom they, disbelievers, worship besides Allah, lest they insult Allah wrongfully without knowledge. Thus, we have made fair seeming to each people its own doings. Then to their Lord is their return, and He shall then inform them of all that they used to do. So, now, one person in Medina converted, when that person came to Medina, converted to Islam. After some days, wanted to go back and return back to his religion. And he informed Prophet Muhammad about this, that he wanted to return to his former religion. And Prophet Muhammad says, this is a hadith from Bukhari. I mean, Bukhari is a well-respected book of sayings of Prophet Muhammad, what all he said and what all he did. It is well accepted and well respected book. So Prophet Muhammad allowed him to return to his former religion, which following this indication, there is no compulsion in religion to you yours and to me mine. Another example from Hazrat Umar can be given. A Christian lady came to meet Hazrat Umar, who was the second caliph after Prophet Muhammad. Hazrat Abu Bakr and Hazrat Umar was the second caliph. A Christian woman came to meet him, and he invited her to embrace Islam. But soon he realized there is no compulsion in religion, and he followed this dictate, and he prayed to Allah, "Oh my Lord," he said, expressing his remorse, "I have not intended to compel her, as I know that there must be no compulsion in religion. Righteousness has been explained and distinguished from misguidance." So this is the level to which Caliph Hazrat Umar respected this edict. So in Islamic history you will find both kinds of approaches. There is apostasy now is punished in Pakistan and many Arab countries, and that fact is also there, that fact of life is also there, and these examples from history as well as from Quranic verses are also there. So I'll not I'll just very briefly talk about India, and in India, following this teaching of Islam, Emperor Akbar held, as we all know, and we all know that he invited people of all faith for dialogue in his Diwan-e-Khas, and there used to be dialogue between, there was a Christian priest, there was a Christian priest, Muslims were there, Sikh, people of all faiths used to dialogue. And Akbar's diktat was Sulh-e-Kul, total peace, understanding through the process of dialogue, and that is what I'll use my 5 minutes that I have. I try to elaborate acceptance of diversity and freedom of religion in Islam as a part to peace building with all. Stating with a caveat that Muslims may not have followed all these diktats, all these verses of Quran thoroughly, as we need to renew our message. With this, I'll use my 5 minutes also to talk about the Inter-Religious Solidarity Council that we have started in Mumbai. 3 years ago, some of us realized, people of a different faith, that there's so much of hatred around. There's so much of violence in the name of religion that is taking place. Nobody speaks up. But the fact that nobody speaks up doesn't mean that the silent majorities agree with these hate mongers. So we got together in YMCA 3 years ago, and we decided to do something about it, build a common platform where people of all religions come together, and for 3 objectives. One is opposing extremism in all religions, interfaith dialogue in order to understand each other's faith, and third, countering all this extremism, hatred, and serving people together. With these 3 objectives together, we have been journeying this 3 years very, very well, in my opinion, very, very well. We celebrate festivals together. We are all festivals, almost all festivals we have celebrated together, and we are going to celebrate festivals in 2026 also together. There are already plans of that. One high point of this celebration of festivals together was when Holy Milan was celebrated in ISKCON temple in Girgaon. For that, I told Swami Keshav Das that Muslims will not be able to participate because it's Ramzan and it's iftar time for them. Swami said, no problem, we'll arrange iftar in the temple. And I said, we'll still not be able to participate because after iftar they have to pray to God. They have to pray, offer their namaz. So Swamiji immediately said, so what's the problem? They can pray, they can do their namaz in the temple. What all you will need? Will a small dali do? Will a chatai do? Or what do you want? You tell me. This leaked to the press, at least one journalist, and who wanted to make an issue out of this namaz in temple. He contacted me, the journalist, and I said, such a wonderful thing, namaz in temple, we should pray. Is our mosques open to inter-religious prayers? I said, yes, if you keep idol worship out, because that's what is prohibited. All other ways, and I wish if they are not today, tomorrow all the mosques should become like that. And not getting anything from me, turned to Swami Keshav Chandra Das and said, will you allow namaz in temple? I immediately wrote. Swamiji called me and said, this is what media is inquiring. I immediately wrote to Swamiji in a private message. Swamiji dropped the idea. We'll come, we'll go to some other mosque, pray and come back for this Holy Milan. Don't worry about it. Don't worry, we don't want all these problems. And Swamiji said, no, there will be namaz inside temple, except that there will be no photograph. Nobody will take photograph. That was a high point of that inter-religious dialogue. Second, when we had an inter-religious dialogue in Dargah, Mahim Dargah, it was wonderful to see Swami in Keshav Chandra Das and Mangesh Da of Kriya Yogi Foundation offering chadar to the Dargah. And you know, that photograph is there in that Bhagwa dress. The Swamijis are offering chadar to a Dargah. Wonderful. There are many such things that I can talk about, but last minute I will talk about future, what we are planning. In May, we are planning a conclave of religions, where we will invite people of all religions. We want to invite prominent leaders of all religions and to talk about humanity, acceptance of diversity, nature, balance with nature, etc. We have a core team that is working, core team of 9 people, and we have an advisory council where people of all religions are there and they come and actively participate, and there are 43 members in advisory council, and we have had these meetings in church, we have had these meetings in Dargah, we have had this meeting in all religious. Professor Surinder Kaur will be speaking when there was 350th birth anniversary of Guru Tegh Bahadur. The whole concept of sacrifice, we had an entire debate, discussion on the concept of sacrifice. What does sacrifice mean? What are the various ways of sacrifice, etc., etc. So we have formed 3 subcommittees, and these subcommittees are very well active. That May event is not just an event. We are building it up as a process, as a campaign. The event will culminate after a campaign for humanitarianism, which will go through mosques affiliated to us, or who are not affiliated is the wrong term, who are our partners and journeying with us together. They'll go through churches that are journeying with us together. They'll go through the Gurudwaras that are journeying with us together. We intend to go to communities and talk about the messages, the ethical and moral values of religion and this journey of peace, which will culminate in this event in May. We'll go to schools and colleges and address young students from Sophia College, St. Xavier's College, Nirmala Niketan College. They have been participating in our meetings that we have, number of events that we have. In 2025, we had 13 events, the inter-religious celebrations and dialogues and etc. We issued statements. And another high point I will say is that when during Christmas, Christian celebrations were disrupted, we wanted to issue a press statement then, but through a press conference. And the initiative was taken by Muslims. We contacted Keshav Chandra Das that will you also address and condemn attacks on Christmas celebrations in Mumbai and in the country. And he readily agreed. Of course, when we drafted the press statement, there had to be some negotiation because he wanted the conversion point to be put. He said, no, in no way we will support this conversion, anti-conversion laws that are being used. But we had a healthy discussion and a nice statement came out in which Hindu priests, Muslim priests, Christians, all were held a press conference together to condemn attack on Christians in Christmas. So we have decided to speak up against any attacks on any religion and all extremism. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Advocate ISHVANI Engineer, for presenting your views on Islam and peace. You have beautifully started with the 3 stages of peace: absence of violence and conflict, peace based on the acceptance of diversity, the third one based on justice, equal citizen and human rights. Then you went on to explain the foundational principles of peace in Islam. That also you have a very beautiful thought. The seeking unity of human being with God and nature makes one cosmic human being. Very philosophical blessing. We need to celebrate. Very beautiful. And then he went on to also speak about all religions are true. We are all journeying together, and the current theme of the symposium itself is highlighted there. Like that, you have brought in a lot of richness, a lot of thought for our reflection and also to come together. Sir, thank you once again for this beautiful message that you have given us. Now, invite all of you. Yes, we can give a round of applause to. Would you like to give a comment or seek clarification or any question for him to answer? Please, we'll have 1 or 2 questions then, because some are hungry. Yes, we can understand that. Yes, Father Augustine.
Friends, it is my beautiful chance for me to speak my experience with Advocate Engineer Irfan and Dr. Punyani. We have been very actively involved in the human rights defense, the diversity of religion, etc. And today, I'm so privileged to hear you here at this occasion. So I am all the more hopeful that how these initiatives that you are been taking up, and this is a very good example for you and for me, all of us, the inspiration to take up the activities in the national context, also international. I wish you all the best. Thank you for this inspiring message.
Brother Ryan.
All the religions teach very beautiful things, and Islamism as well. It was very nice to listen to you. And also, the initiatives for bringing up peace is there in Delhi, in Pune, and in Mumbai, in many places. But still, it is in the microcosm level. When are we going to extend it so that many more people will come together and the whole nation will become aware of it? Is my question.
Please bring your mic.
I first want to compliment what Irfan has presented. There is a small question. Many countries call themselves as Muslim countries. So how much of Islam they are following, and how do we try to say proof of Islam versus the way things like this is a big topic. We should take Islamic countries and all that. How many things are it goes?
Yeah, okay. Thank you for very good questions. When will we extend the activities at all India level? I think it's more of an organic process. I don't know. I don't have an answer. Honestly, I don't have an answer. In fact, we didn't want our organization, our platform to be a misnomer, so we called ourselves Inter-Religious Solidarity Council, Mumbai. Because we are in Mumbai, and although sometimes we react to issues outside Mumbai also, but basically want to mobilize people in Mumbai for interfaith dialogue and for visibility campaigns, etc. Visible campaigns. I wish we were all India, but we are not. There are peace processes in other towns and cities, other areas, other states, and we would like to build bridges with them, and hopefully we will do so. Hopefully, in an organic process that should. But I don't know the timeline when we all need to make efforts. There are specificities of those cities, say in south, north, the presence of divisive strengths of divisive politics are different in different regions, and they respond to different issues and different histories. Hope will come together. Ultimately, we have to journey together and build an all India. But when that will happen, I don't know. About Muslim countries, you can say countries with Muslim majority or Muslim minority. And I believe most wonderful readings of Islam has come from countries where Muslims are in minority. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad and his commentary on Quran is very liberating, very, very liberating. And I don't think it would have come from an Arab nation where Islam was in majority. Perhaps not, because Islam was response to sufferings and oppression of people in Arabia. It is like Muslims during Muharram say, Islam zinda hota hai har Karbala ke baad. Karbala, where Imam Hussain was martyred, it is in such situation that Islam comes alive, that spirit of rebellion, of freedom, of liberation, of equality, of questioning the powers that be. So I think most beautiful theologies on Islam have come from, I dare say, from countries where Muslims are in a minority and are suffering. Is Afghanistan an Islamic state? Is Pakistan an Islamic state? Are Arab countries Islamic state? Ask, they'll be difficult. I'll just give you one very simple answer. One sect will not accept Pakistan as an Islamic state or Afghanistan, Muslim sect. I'll give you a very simple, concrete thing that happened. Justice Munir Commission was appointed in Pakistan to define who Muslims are. Actually, they wanted to target Ahmadiyas in Pakistan. They are already targeting Christians and Hindus and other minorities. They wanted to target Ahmadiyas and exclude them from being called Muslim. So, Justice Munir Commission was appointed. Justice Munir Commission consulted all the Maulvis and religious leaders of all sects and then wrote his report that it is difficult to define who Muslims are, forget Islamic State, but who Muslims who is a Muslim. All of them disagreed on definition. All of them thought the others are kafirs. Sunnis will think Shia is a kafir. One school of Sunni will think other school of Sunni is kafir, etc. So on and so forth. They agreed only on one thing, who are not Muslims, and that is Ahmadiyas. It was more of a political decision rather than religious. So if we can't agree who is a Muslim, how can we agree that a country is a Muslim majority country and a state is Islamic state? In any case, Islamic, I think, I will not be wrong if I would say Indian constitution exemplifies the idea of Islamic state rather than Pakistan. People may not agree, but I truly believe, because it's based on moral values. It's based on moral human values. Democracy is based on moral values. Freedom of religion is not there in Pakistan or in many countries that call themselves as Islamic countries or Islamic state. Freedom of religion is there in India, and the text that I read from Quran about diversity and although in practice there is an issue. Islamic terrorism, it's a big topic. Only I'll say, because time is limited, therefore I'll only say one thing, that Islam is a religion of peace. There is one verse in Quran which says, if you kill an innocent person, it is as if you have killed entire humanity. And if you save one innocent person, it is as if you have saved entire humanity. And these people, the terrorists, they target innocent people of other faith and religion. They cannot be, in my reading, in my understanding, they cannot be Muslims or doing so under Islamic. They are misguided people perhaps. It's more of political action. Afghanistan wanted liberation from American army, or Palestine wants liberation. India wanted when you are under situation of slavery or colony, if Islam mobilizes, inspires you to fight for liberation, and if you adopt these kind of methods, terrorist methods, the idea of liberation is more political rather than religious.
So one last question. Just you wanted to answer this. Last, if you have, short, make it brief.
So thank you at the outset for the presentation. My question was that you mentioned to the essence of Islamic faith, that's the creation. You're mentioning that journeying together in search of truth. And you also mentioned that in practicality it is null. We are very much limited with that. And when you mentioned about the creation, you mentioned the diversity is to know each other rather to you mentioned despise each other. So it's just knowledge or something to do with practical life as well?
You know, one simple, it is to accept diversity. It is with diversity that you know entire reality. Otherwise, your thinking is limited. So, so that you know each other means you get knowledge, wider knowledge than if you are only yourself or only one culture, one language, then you know nothing. You don't know the diversity. So it's about knowledge. And the other question was?
It's just from knowledge or also something to do with practical life? That's my question.
I said it's about knowledge and practical life. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I would like to conclude this segment with a beautiful statement made by Advocate Irfan. He said, peace is a journey, and that journey is meaningful, joyful when we go with others, when we do with people of other cultures, other religion, and other faith traditions, or even non-faith tradition. Sir, thank you for this wonderful talk.
Thank you so much. We give a loud round of applause to As I mentioned earlier, the books of Professor Punyani are displayed on the in front of the dining hall. You can have a look at them, and if you like to buy them, it's available. Right now we have the lunch break. We'll have 2 counters here in the dining hall and then 3 counters on the quadrangle here. Those who are elderly and who are not able to walk, stand, please come to the dining hall. Otherwise, those who are younger ones can also get the food from the counters outside. So let's all stand together. Let's all stand together and pray together. Bless us, O Lord, and these things which are about to receive from your bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen. Okay, have a good lunch. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. We started by